Hi guys, the lighting in this video is probably going to be terrible, but I thought I'd just film it now just so it's filmed. I'm just going to tell you about the two scares I've really had during my pregnancy. I am only just starting my third trimester, but I thought I'd, do a video now so that it's up, and hopefully I will not have any scares during my third trimester, but I just thought I'd do this video now. So the first one kind of happened at 9 weeks and 5 days. At this point I thought I was 10 weeks because my days when I got the scan it turned out that I was 2 days behind what I thought I was. So really I just went to the toilet and I wiped, and I had literally, it was the tiniest amount, but it did keep coming. It was just little spots of blood, tiny bits of blood. But it was enough to freak me out because I had been having cramps, and now I know that those cramps are just your uterus expanding for the baby. But at the time I was like, oh no, I'm having a miscarriage, I'm doing this, that, because I was very stressed at this time, so I was like, well, this must have caused it. So I told Michael and we went to A&E because we didn't really know what to do. We didn't realise that we should have phoned the advice line, but we went to A&E and we waited a while. They took a urine sample and what else did they do? Bloods and stuff, just to check to see that I was still pregnant. And at that time we'd actually had the name Emily picked out for her. Her name's not Emily anymore, it is Sophia. But on the, those Coke bottles that have the names, there was only one Coke bottle facing us with the name, and it was Emily, and we're like, this is fate. So that was kind of reassuring. But they did blood tests and urine tests, and it did come out that I was still pregnant, so I hadn't suffered a miscarriage at that point. Well, I haven't suffered a miscarriage. They stuck a drip in, which I don't know why they did that. But they did that, and then they felt my tummy for any hardness or anything. But what I didn't like was the doctor basically said to me, oh, it's probably an ectopic pregnancy. And hearing that just really does scare you, because it wasn't it could be nothing, it's probably nothing to worry about, but we're just gonna make sure that there is nothing wrong. But it was just the way she was like, it's most likely an ectopic pregnancy, and that just freaked me out. And then the next day she booked us in for a scan, and I didn't know what they were going to do because I was only 10 weeks. I didn't know if they were going to do the internal one or the gel, so I didn't drink a lot of water because I was like, if they're doing the internal then surely they don't need water. But then I realised that they were going to do the scan on top of the belly, so I was downing water, and when she called us it was the most nerve-wracking thing ever. But we got to see our baby, and it was just the best feeling because it's the first time we saw her in real life, and I think that kind of made it more real because we could see this baby in my tummy. Obviously she was tiny because I don't know what size they are at about 10 weeks, but it was just a great thing to see, and it really did help us get through this, and just seeing that was really helpful. So that scare was just basically little spots. Then when I was about 21 weeks and 2 days, I bled very heavily. It wasn't spotting, it was heavy. It was a big gush of blood. There was a clot in it as well, and it really did freak me out. And I went to the toilet and I was shaking, and I was asking Michael to get my pregnancy notes to get the advice line, and I couldn't speak, so he had to speak to the phone first, but in the end I ended up speaking to the person on the phone, and she told us to come into the women assessment area, so that they could assess me. And we got there, and I've never seen me or Michael so scared in my life. We were both petrified. We both thought we were going to lose her. And I think it was at that moment we realised how much we loved her. Because before, yes, we were young and we were like, it's a baby, it's a really happy time. But I don't think we realised or understood how much she'd mean to us. And it was that moment that really scared us and made us realise that this is our baby and we could be losing her. So we went in, and the woman asked if I was still bleeding. I had the tiniest bit of blood then, because it just came out in like a gush. It didn't really continuously bleed. And she felt my tummy and everything, and yeah, she basically said, it was basically found out that the reason that it did happen was because me and Michael had had intercourse earlier that day, and it probably burst a blood vessel or something in my what's it called, in that area, and so it was good to know that there was a reason. So she was like, because of that, we're not going to do like an internal examination, because we think that that's probably it, and we don't want to put you through an internal examination because it's most likely because you've had sex. So she basically just felt my tummy for any hardness or anything, and she said it was all good, and she got the Doppler out and we heard our baby's heartbeat for the first time. We saw it on like the screen, they were like, oh look, it's the flickering, but this was the first time we'd heard her heartbeat, and it was just so relieving to see that, and it just made everything more real. So yeah, that second scare was one of the most scariest times of my whole life. Michael even said that he was petrified, and I didn't realise how much he cared. Like, obviously he does care, but it was at that moment I realised that we both really do care a lot about this child that we're going to have in a few months. So everything is totally fine now, everything is dandy, the baby is measuring actually a week ahead, and everything's fine now. So yeah, I just thought I'd share with you my scares, and that you can bleed during pregnancy and it can just turn out to be nothing at all, nothing to really to worry about. I would say if you are bleeding or if you are having severe pains, go get checked out, because the worst they can say, well, like, if you go in and they say to you, oh, there's nothing wrong, then that's totally fine. Like, you as a parent are allowed to be worried about your child inside you, and they can't tell you off for being concerned. So I just say, if you ever do have doubts, just go, like, just think to yourself, it probably is nothing, but just as long as you get checked out and have that, like, okay, everything's okay, then everything's fine. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye!